Hello, everybody. Can you believe it? It's almost here. It's almost Christmas. There are so many things about Christmas that we really love. But one of my favorite things are Christmas lights. I think they are so beautiful. Did you know that sometimes the Christmas season is called the season of lights?
Yes, I did.
It's true. Sometimes Christmas is called the season of lights. And it's not just because of the lights on the houses and the trees, but it is because Jesus is known as the light of the world. And during Christmas time, we celebrate his birth. Light is what casts out darkness. Light sends away darkness. So when Jesus was born, he sent away the darkness of sin. So today, we're going to read the Bible story of Zechariah and Elizabeth. After the Israelites returned to the land of Israel, God did not speak to his people for a long time. For 400 years, God was silent. But then finally, after all that time, God sent a message to Zechariah, one of his faithful followers. Zechariah and his wife Elizabeth loved God with their whole heart and obeyed his command, but there was a problem. The Bible said that Zechariah and Elizabeth were sad because Elizabeth was never able to have children. Back then, women were sometimes looked down on if they could not have a baby, so that made Elizabeth feel extra ashamed. On top of that, they were both kinda old. So having a baby was almost impossible now. Nevertheless, Zechariah wasn't ready to give up just yet. Zechariah prayed and prayed that Elizabeth would have a baby. One day, Zechariah was on duty at the temple of God, where he worked as a priest. As soon as Zechariah walked inside, he saw something crazy. It's an angel of God named Gabriel appeared to Zechariah. When Zechariah saw him, he was both amazed and terrified. The angel Gabriel could see the amazed-ified look on Zechariah's face and listen to what he said. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will have a child. It will be a boy, and you must call him John." When Gabriel finished talking, Zechariah's amazified look turned into confusion. Even though he had prayed for this, he couldn't believe what the angel was saying. So he said, "Huh? How could this be? I'm like super old, and so is my wife." Zechariah could never have guessed what would come out of his mouth next. It's silence. Zechariah had doubted God's power to give them a baby. And because of his disbelief, Gabriel made it so that Zechariah could not speak until after John was born. When he opened his mouth, the only thing that would come out was silence. When Zechariah's duty at the temple was over, he returned home, and a short time after, just as Gabriel had said, Elizabeth became pregnant with a baby. She was so happy she shouted for joy. She said, "The Lord has taken away my shame." Zechariah shouted for joy too. He said, because God is so gracious and slow to get angry, he gave Zechariah an incredible gift that Zechariah didn't even believe God could do. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been given a gift that you don't deserve? I bet you have. I know I have. And I'll bet it's going to happen again really soon. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Because God is gracious and slow to anger, he gave Zechariah an incredible gift that Zechariah didn't even believe God could give. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been given a gift you didn't think you deserved? I bet you have, and I know I have too. Fortunately, The people who care about us don't just give us the gifts that we deserve. They give us the gifts that we ask for because they're gracious and they love us. It's the same with God. Think about how many times we've messed up with God. I know I've messed up a lot. I have lied or gossiped, and I have treated other people less kindly than they deserved. Because sometimes we're sinners. We don't deserve any good gifts from God. But over 2,000 years ago, on the very first Christmas, God gave us the best gift ever, the gift of his son, Jesus. He didn't give us Jesus because we deserved him. He gave us Jesus because he is gracious and he loves us. He gave us Jesus so that our sins could be forgiven and we could spend forever with him in heaven. That's the good news of Christmas that brings great joy to everyone who hears it. And that is all we have for today. Thank you for joining us. I am excited to see you in the next one, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Okay, bye!